some of this stuff is kind of silly. You're going to be like, duh. But one of the things this course does talk about is not just safety when you immediately think about being safe in an open house, but also safe with your client's information, safe with cybersecurity. That's a huge thing for us right now. We are constantly being phished and extorted, attempting to be extorted for money. So we're going to kind of go over all the different things. And I will say this PowerPoint, I'm sorry. They put like too many slides, so we can skip through some of this, but you want to hit it.
Okay. Oh, I just hit it. Hang on. You said hide and I hid and I don't know how to. There we go.
Obviously, safety is of the utmost importance for both you and your clients when you are, dealing with different, whether that's listing properties, doing different things. So I know you kind of mentioned the story about the homeless person hiding in a house, which is terrifying. Yeah. Have any of you else had instances where you've kind of felt uneasy on a listing appointment or anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Just creep factor.
Yeah, do you remember that? Or my carriage, that guy would park in the parking lot across from the church and text me and be like, hey, I know you're at your office. And I tell you, I was 6 months pregnant. So that was really disgusting. Yeah. Like, and I showed him my house. It was like an office lead. And I went and showed him, a couple of houses, whatever. And then it got to be like really weird. He would like text me, like, I wish you would dinner with me tonight. And I'm like, broker.
Yeah.
Right. I took care.
Well, and that's one of the things that we'll kind of talk a little bit about too. And especially I feel like in the post-COVID world where, you guys are also not as many agents are coming in. Y'all actually have more here than we have some brokerages that, agents are never in their office. So if you're coming on a Sunday afternoon to print something or you need to be here, it's just to be, again, some of it is common sense, but some of it is, I think, you sort of get in your cycle and you sort of forget that you're here alone, right? And no one knows where you are and those kind of things. So the good news is, Brian, you can hit it.
Oh, I hit it, but it's not doing it. Okay, there it is.
You can hit it again.
Okay.
The good news is that honestly, so from realtor surveys, we're actually showing that people feel more safe. So the vast majority, and I'm going to send this to y'all so y'all can see it. But the vast majority of agents, may have had one or two things, but for the most part, people don't feel like crazy unsafe with things going on. And actually, 2021, they felt more safe than they did in 2020. I don't have a lot of data on like why that is, but it went from 72 to 84% felt safe with their personal information, all of that. I will say, I think moving forward, that percentage of dealing with personal information and sort of the internet of it all may change a little bit. We're just seeing these kind of cyber criminals getting really, really savvy and able to access, we'll talk about it, but able to access client information and contracts and just weird things happening. So if you want to hit it again, they talk about this is 2021. So here are the situations in which realtors feared during a showing and meeting a client for the first time. Obviously, that kind of makes the most sense, right? Like, who are these people? What are they doing? And then open houses are always kind of a weird, you do feel sort of vulnerable being somewhere by yourself. It's been advertised different places. So we're going to talk about a couple strategies that y'all can do. And then certainly within 6th Ave, if you don't already sort of have some things in place, what you guys can do as a brokerage to sort of make sure everybody, again, you're not by yourself when people come in and again, you feel unsafe. So then this is just the same statistics, 2020.
I want to back up and show those numbers again. There's 20, 21.
I don't know if y'all can really see it. Inappropriate. There you are. Inappropriate text.
I'm flying.
I know it's really small.
I can probably blow it up if you want me to.
Yeah, if we can see. So this is 21.
There you go. That's better.
So, again, it's all different.
Okay, here's the next slide for 2020. Oh, it'll let me. There it goes.
There we go. So I don't know why they switched the deals. And other is kind of funny on this one. but it looked like meeting clients in a perfect place kind of went down. The year before, so 2020, that was more, but that would make sense too, because people weren't meeting clients in public places. You were meeting anybody in public places. And I do think with the open house situation kicking back up again, I mean, that wasn't really an issue in 21 and 22 because you weren't doing it. So again, you're out of practice, right? So just trying to kind of remember sort of best practices on how you can navigate those in the best way possible. And then the next one, I don't know why these all look kind of the same. When and where the crime occurred. So for those, when it did happen, it's more person to person kind of interactions, which again is not.
So this is.
So realtors likely to encounter crimes after receiving threatening or inappropriate email, text message, phone calls, or during an open house. You can kind of see the percentages, but 85% again, of you are not worried about it. But again, goes back to you're not worried about it until you don't think to look in a closet.
2% had to be me on
2%
James. 2% it had to be.
Yeah. And
Wow.
you know, we hear the horror stories, and we sometimes get to deal with your awesome clients who love threatening emails and text messages. But you know, those are hard to navigate too. So you know, again, there's a difference between high maintenance client and dangerous client. But you know, as you're getting, I think especially those who do Zillow leads and other things, just being aware of what you're telling them about yourself and you know, other people is saying. So personal safety, again, I mean, I think that these seem like common sense, but I think they're good things. You know, be mindful of what you're wearing, expensive jewelry, different things. Emergency phone numbers is favorites that you have available. One of the things that we'll talk about too is you guys are on your phones a lot, is to have a backup charger or something. Don't be caught with a dead phone somewhere. Resources in your vehicle, which could be also as Judy said, guns, no guns, please. Or if you have guns, don't bring them into your open house.
I did.
You can. Well, and, you know,
I just made me feel comfortable.
well, it's what makes you feel comfortable, right?
Look if you're licensed.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
if it's legal.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's legal,
don't
you know.
Don't just strap one on your back. And I do think this is a good one too. Again, because I feel like y'all's phones are.
And I have a suggestion for that. After the class, I'll show you a charger that I bought on Amazon that has a C type and lightning for phone, and it's a fast charger, so it'll charge your phone to 100% in about 45 minutes.
And I will say too, and this may be on the next slide, like for especially the newer agents, like anytime that I've showed property to somebody I don't know, I typically don't do that anyways, but either have her or my husband, like I put my phone on and stick it in my purse, so at least they're hearing conversation I carry, and I share location, like with her, either her or my husband or whatever, just like where I am, and just because you just never know.
Here's the plan.
I usually send the addresses and sort of my route.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know someone, I mean, but like I said, we usually just work with people we know. But
September is Realtor Safety Month, so you will be getting from us. We're going to do a couple self-defense classes. So if you see those and want to do those, I don't think it's a bad idea for you to sort of, again, it just kind of stays in the front of your mind on different things you can do. Sharing calendars and schedules, same thing, right? Like make sure newer agents, you're sharing locations with somebody, letting people know where you are. And again, be aware of your surroundings as much as you can. I mean, I think, you know, you go into a house assuming that it's locked and no one's going to be in there, but
My husband tired. Like,
well,
I'm kind of glad it happened to me on the very first open house, because now I take someone with me. If it's not my husband, you know, a partner within the industry, another real estate agent, or someone from a title company, somebody.
Somebody.
And that's one thing I've always had somebody. This was the first one I did like by myself, just because you know I did, and so I was like, I'm just gonna be extra cautious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you gotta go do the inspection alone too. That's kind of the opening the closets by yourself and all that.
Yeah.
I'm a little traumatized.
And that's
I
quite strong closet trauma here.
Yeah.
This again is kind of, I'm thinking the office, and y'all's office is a good example of this too. It's just again coming up on a Sunday. Make sure you sort of know where things are when you guys have your new office and you're bringing agents in. Is to just talk about like, hey guys, like, here's how we lock things. Please make sure when you leave that the door is closed all the way and locked. And then this one kind of talks more about, and this we deal with a lot in our office, is, if you do have a desk, making sure when you leave for the day that we don't have the contract out with your routing number and account number for seller proceeds out. Now, luckily for us, everything for us is now, in a cloud and it's secure and the sellers put it directly in there. But just even your phones with text messages of people sending you pictures of their checks, right, to like do different things. It's unbelievable how, again, the criminals are getting really savvy to do different things. So if you have that stuff, just put it in the folder and put it in a drawer, just don't leave it out in case something happens. If there is an office distress code, they kind of talked about that too, like whether it's Brian is sort of a favorite and on speed dial and there's a word or something to let him know something is not right, whether you're here or on a different, as a brokerage, it's probably worth, and again, September is a good time, Realtor Safety Month, to say, hey, as a brokerage, here's kind of some different best practices we're going to do and what are people seeing and all of that stuff. So,
And that's probably honestly, if you were in trouble and somebody was with you and you're like, hey, let me call my broker, instead of like, oh, here's my husband. And like, I think it'd be a much easier conversation to be like, let me just call my broker.
Mhm.
And if you had a code word, it's kind of like, okay, we go into action.
I think we set that up. The hard part would be if you're out showing and I don't know where you are,
Yeah.
that may be something. And of course, we don't want to be invading everybody's privacy when they're,
But do we
on the
have a
phone.
way to have like an emergency? I can't remember. Do we have an emergency contact for each agent? Because that might be a good thing. If you were to get a call with the code word and you get, okay, I'm gonna call Holly's husband.
I have everybody's cell phone number and your home addresses. That's part of our office records
But I
that we keep.
think
But
having an emergency contact wouldn't be a bad idea.
emergency contact meaning
For
Like
like
for-
Natasha, for Holly, for you, if we got in those situations and you didn't know where we were, but you could pick up the phone, call my husband and be like, hey, where's Holly? Because he has me on location.
well, and another part of that is if you put your showings on your calendar, I can at least see that you're out showing.
Yeah.
I can't see your address. I can't see what you're doing there. But if I type in Gracie on my calendar, I can see where your things are booked on your 6th calendar. Maybe we need to figure something out there.
I'm thinking emergency contact probably is the best way because everybody's willing to give their spouses or if they're not married, their parent or
My mom has my location.
Yeah.
My husband has my location.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something, maybe I do need to go through and get an emergency contact from everybody.
I think that's not a bad idea. If somebody, thinking through too, like you pass out, you faint, right? You know what I mean? And you're not here. We're like, oh, grabbing your phone. Something happens.
Well, I think that's always a good thing. It's like in my phone, I have a few for different reasons, but like in quotations, like by my husband's contact information is emergency contact. My brother is an emergency contact. So if somebody picks up my phone, they know who to call.
And you can put them up as ICE. That's what firefighters are supposed to look for first in their phone. ICE, in case of emergency. Sorry.
So no, you're good. The next one is basically that, right? So it's kind of saying they recommend set a safety minute section in every office meeting. It doesn't just have to be in September. That works now because it's on September. But it just needs to be things, if y'all do hear of situations with other agents that you're working with, is to share them with everyone to kind of just keep everybody sort of informed again and on your toes, because it doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. And so, to get complacent in that way can be dangerous. Okay, client safety. Again, this seems like, oh, duh, but don't meet people you don't know here on a Sunday alone. So go for a public place. I always say too, like, if you have a weird feeling, you're probably right? So trust your instincts too. If something just doesn't feel right when you're setting this up, Gracie, like ask somebody to go with you. Go together, ask other people to kind of help. But honestly, don't go with them by yourselves. The ask to see about that thing seems a little weird.
I do it. I do.
I actually
Okay.
read
I
an
do
article recently about people impersonating sellers.
Oh, I mean,
It's,
NAR.
yeah, in that magazine.
yeah.
It's like on the rise.
Just
Significantly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know,
Rise
we're
of years.
seeing a lot with like vacant lots and stuff. They're impersonating people and different things. So, you know, there's a way, and on the next one.
Oh my God, what did you just tell me? Great.
You might be able to do that. There we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
You know, some of it could also be this, like, hey, can you fill this out? Oh my gosh, I need to see a driver's license. Like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I
think a really great way is just to blame it on office protocol.
That's what I mean. Our
That's what
office
I do.
I mean,
requires
it's
that
just
I
kind of
check
like,
this.
hey, you know, my brokerage requires us to know who we're working with for our safety as
That's what I
the
always say.
safety of our office, and I'm gonna need
They have
just.
a problem getting to that.
That-
The red flag.
Well, exactly right. Because most people are like, oh yeah, sure, here's who I am. And then, you know, whether you take this and when Brian gets back, we can find out, like, you do some type of form like this, or just name, address, contact information. Hey, I need to be able to contact you.
I mean, you can't test drive a car without insurance and driver's license. Why can you go look at people's homes without a license and driver's license?
Well, I always post it as that too, saying, hey, you know, for my safety and for my office procedures, I need a copy of your driver's license. I make it very clear. This is also for safety because I need to know who I'm meeting.
And do you ask them that obviously before you?
If they call me, I said, hey, just send me a picture of your, or if they text me, I said, hey, send me a picture of your driver's license. So I just told Susan to do that with those renters.
I think that could be a really good thing just to set up like an introduction, like a Google form to say, hey, I mean, you're going to collect this information, anyways, name, address, birth dates, blah, 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 and a copy of your address. I mean, your driver's license.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of an introduction before you go.
And I always send them a picture of my car. I'm like, hey, I'm sending it to you too. I'm not just asking.
Your
Here's
driver's
my,
license.
and not my, I have my card.
Oh, yeah.
So it has my picture, has all my contact info on it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
This is who I am. Yeah. So I think, yeah, and again, just good conversations to have how y'all want to handle that. But yes, I think, again, and if they're squirrely about sending it to you, it might be a good idea to just, yeah. And then showing tips, kind of like what we talked about. Study the property as much as you can before entering. Focus is interesting. Never lead a visitor into a room. Like, don't turn your back. But that's, you know, again, just good practice. Small areas of no means of escape. Never turn your back on a prospect. And again, I think if you're getting the creep vibe, you probably will have gotten it before you get there. So just, again, trust your instincts on that for sure.
Okay, so I want to back up to that one, and I want to give another hint for people. If you get a weird vibe and you're there by yourself, especially if you're female, sorry, Greg, it's different. It just is different. Okay, but if you get a weird vibe and they want to see the house, say, hey, unlock the door. I've got some phone calls I need to make, so I'm gonna stand out here on the porch and let you look through, and you stay outside. Okay, and if you're getting that vibe, I need to know about it anyway. And tell me what your schedule is, where you're going. You know, you can do that while you're driving to the next house. You can call me and say, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to be. Me or Tanner, or put it in Slack. I don't care. Okay. So just, we can't have anybody getting hurt. That's bottom line. Sorry. I wanted to say
You
that.
mentioned don't give your back to anyone. I always feel weird, so I always make sure to turn and let them go. Go ahead. You know,
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and
I'll
go
open the
in.
door for you, you know.
Okay.
Yes, and the phone, again.
Okay. This is just for Maria Ventura here. This is open house
Yeah.
safety.
Yes.
Take my taser.
Yeah, exactly.
I did buy one. It was just like a cell phone.
Good.
You just use it. You just.
There you go.
So again, these can be different kind of based on strategies, based on sort of how you operate and what you want to do. I mean, we really feel like, I feel like most agents we talk to aren't there alone. So they're either bringing a buddy or a husband, a friend, another agent. I think they're also, it feels like the open houses are really, they're shortening their times. They're kind of more for 2 hours, which I feel like it's easier to ask someone to come with you for 2 hours than 6. So again, just be, and if you get a creep vibe with somebody in an open house, that's when, I think the thing is nobody wants to be rude or feel awkward, but I think you would rather
Be safe.
be safe than sorry. Exactly right.
If worst case, open your computer and start a meeting with somebody, a virtual meeting. Call somebody, call a friend, and y'all just talk. I mean, that way it's open communication. You're not there by yourself. There's somebody.
Or just have the phone on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you kind of put it
Great
out
idea.
and-
Yeah, and I also have like the one Sunday. Again, we usually do them together, but the one Sunday I just had a friend say, "Hey, can you stop by for a little bit today, just to say hi?" And so I could also have somebody there. You
Okay.
know? So that's another good thing too. If they can't stay the whole time, at least have someone stop by.
Have someone there. The sign in, one of the things was like requiring people to sign in.
Sorry.
You're fine, because even, I mean, it's kind of, but they're like, even if you put false information, you know, just for police and everything else, that you would, again, if people are weird about signing in for open house,
There's something strange.
Yeah.
At least they should give their name.
Yeah.
They may not give you an email or a phone number, but at least they'll give you your name.
Kind of the same things. You know, just be smart when you're coming, figure out where the doors are, where you're standing, all your valuables, or don't have your purse out and your, you know, your Rolex and your diamond earrings on for an open house.
Yeah, Kaja.
But yes, just to kind of be aware again of your surroundings and everything else. And then I think it's the next one, closing.
I think also a good
Oh, we
point
do.
for open houses, to show up early. And I'm guilty of this, but especially if you don't know the house, show up 30 minutes early, let the seller run you through the house, learn the floor plan and sort of, right. Cause I know a lot of times we rush, throw signs out, throw stuff up, and we're kind of like, oh, I don't even know what this house really looks like.
And people are like showing up.
Yeah,
already
yeah. So I
at the
think
same
you get
time.
to, I think giving yourself that 30 minutes to kind of mentally prepare of, okay, I know where the bathrooms are, there, everything, you know, and knowing your surroundings.
Yeah, we need to be aware of that. This is the same thing. Yeah, requiring all visitors to sign in. And then closing up the house too is there's been just, again, be aware of your surroundings. Did someone come to the open house, scope out the house, and they're waiting for you when you come out? That may be a time too, if you can't find someone, is to have someone meet you at the end to be like, hey, can you help me? Like, we got to check everything. Make sure no one's in the closet. Make sure I get everything kind of put back together.
So was it a vacant house? I missed this one.
It was a vacant
Okay.
house. Yeah,
And did he leave like willingly,
she did.
or she did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank God it was a she
Oh,
too,
yeah.
because if it would have been a
You didn't
guy, it was my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God, I
gosh,
don't even
yeah.
know. My daughter handled it better than I did. I was like, I felt like I was in a horror movie. I actually, because I was cleaning and I was on the floor, so I looked up and she's already, you know,
Oh,
here. So I did. I was screaming, and then I calmed down, and my daughter's like, "Mom, it's okay." And I was like, giving like, you know, I'm grabbing onto her and I'm trying to walk around her. But at that moment, everybody says, have somebody's number. I have my phone here, but I'm locked. I'm looking
You're
because
like
if she's
frozen.
gonna do something or whatever, I
Yeah.
have to pay attention. Yeah, you gotta pay attention to what they're doing. So I just got a taser. Moving forward, I could just maybe you just tase them.
Okay, and then this is sort of the last section, but just online safety. So again, like I said, we're dealing with this a whole lot. So passwords, different things, depending on kind of what you use to keep clients' information. You know, again, we have a lot of their sensitive information, but so do you. So just keep it's for passwords. Don't. I mean, I had a sticky note on my desk that had passwords on it, and our IT guy was like, "Really? I can't remember. Like, you make us change them all the time." So it was kind of in your drawer. But this is also just for your general life to be changing your password.
I will say that's one thing with 6app. You know, and I don't know how this ever came about, but like when you put all the stuff on your phone, it makes you put password on your phone. Because I didn't ever have a password on my phone because I was that person. It's just I'm like I don't
For
want to.
WeChat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or whatever it was. I just downloaded everything. I didn't know what it was associated. I thought it was with the email, to be honest.
Your Gmail account, absolutely, yeah.
So I was like, now it makes me have a password no matter what. So
Well, you have to, my finger you draw.
I know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me get it.
So in some of these, it's going to make you, I mean, some, you know, platforms will make you do a two-factor authentication, but if it gives you the option, I know it's annoying. Nothing's more annoying than wait for the text, fill the code in or whatever else. But, you know, it talks about like NPI, non-public personal information. So you probably do have emails with stuff that they don't want blasted out to the dark web or whatever it is. So again, annoying, but important, especially in this day.
I know that's super important because my son just had his Venmo and his Zelle hacked. And somebody said that you have the two, you know, thing. And I was like, no. She's like, it happened to me. He needs to do that because then they can't. And I was like, But Zelle, like that's
That's
literally
right.
connected to his bank.
Cash,
Mhm.
yeah, it's his cash.
Yeah.
This is a big problem for us. So, I mean, again, these criminals are getting so sophisticated that they will show me your name, your client's name, the address, the file number. It looks exactly like our quality system. And we got 2 this morning, and they were like, no, don't click. All it takes is clicking that and your stuff is compromised. So don't click on, don't click on anything. But they can make them look really, really real.
Once every 3 months, you will get a text message from Jimmy Williams or Jamie Ice. It'll say, hey, I'm out of town. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
You will get that text.
Yeah.
Jimmy or Jamie will probably call you if they need to talk to you, but more than likely it'll be from me. So you will get a email or a text message from Jimmy or Jamie at some point in your tenure here at 6th Ave. And just know that that's probably not them. You can always ask me if they're trying to reach out to you, because they're probably not.
On those other, sorry, because I've done a lot of research on this too, just because I get so much spam. When you get emails, and y'all probably already know this, but when you get emails, always check the sender, because if it's a funky sender and it's not from Amazon.com or whatever,
Or returns at Amazon.com, yeah.
Then it,
And if somebody calls you from Amazon or the IRS, please let me talk to them.
Let me connect you to my assistant.
I'm like, okay.
And then
I've been on the phone.
patch you and ties
I'm
you.
like, I got Amazon on the phone.
Okay, we doing okay on time?
Yeah, we're great.
Okay.
This is a tough one too, is using trusted networks. You're in the airport, at Starbucks, at DFW, and you just need to send this contract.
hot as fuck.
It's okay. It's not okay. I mean, you really shouldn't be using public Wi-Fi. And again, there's just ways that
I was gonna say, you have your own.
you have your own
Yeah.
hotspot. So use that. Don't
Not in Mexico.
try not to. This again is just different things. So keep personal information with your social media. Don't post that you're on vacation and that your house is empty. I mean, all of those kinds of things they tell you. Wait till you get back. Check your privacy settings on all platforms. Again, you guys have pretty public personas in terms of your names being literally on signs in people's yards. I can Google you and find out where your kids are in school. I mean, just again, that's the world that we live in. So try to negate as much of that as you can.
And if I see any of you people doing those Chinese TikTok face things that steal all your personal data, you're fired.
Fire.
The AI.
Yeah.
Barbie
Yeah,
thing.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Gracie, you're not fired.
Okay. I've never done it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so this is probably more kind of Brian for you, but if you go click to the next one, there's a couple examples of
Well, hang on. Where'd it go?
cleared.
That's it.
These are
Okay.
just from our underwriters who have given us some ideas, which may be good things for you to sort of look into to see if they would be a good fit for 6th Ave. But there's like a verification of people. So it's like they on cleared, it's almost more like an iPad, and it immediately can kind of verify if I put my name with like a weird phone number or different things, it can kind of tell you that it's, red alert. There's another one called, I think it's the next
Yep,
one,
next
Safe
one.
Showings.
Yep.
It is kind of like on the sign in, it captures a picture of their face when they're signing in. And the way that they've made these interfaces is really smart. Like it doesn't look sketchy. It looks like it's, oh, this is just like what we do. This is how we do this. So, and we've had people who've been like, with the sketchy people too, it's like, oh, we're taking pictures for the open house. Do you want to be on it? Not everybody wants to be in pictures, but again, if somebody's like, absolutely do not take a picture of my face,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a little
Red flag.
strange. Red flag. So, this is another one. It's kind of
I'm sorry.
stamp. You're fine.
It's really, really tricky right now.
You're fine. It is more like a background check. So if you, and y'all will have this so you can see, and again, these are probably things that like as a brokerage, you should look at doing together. But yeah, it's more of like a kind of mini background check, not like criminal or anything else, but just sort of, here's who this person is. And then This is more of it's like kind of that like every hour, like if a certain amount of time goes by and you don't click the thing on your phone. Again, this one to me, we haven't really played with it that much. Could be a little, because like you're going with your purse and you don't click it and everyone's like, oh God. Here we go.
Holly has disappeared.
And it's like, no, Holly's just selling this house and is busy.
Yeah.
So that would be one of them.
Has anybody seen Holly?
It's like, I think of like Home Alone with the police, just like.
Yeah, everybody's running.
So this is another one. I mean, it's funny how like Silicon Valley, like people come up with this, but I think this one is interesting. It can call you, it can give you a fake call. It can
I like that.
have one button to like SOS, like there's just different things, but it doesn't, again, the interface, like if somebody was standing over you, it doesn't look like you're dialing 911. So it's just a different kind of thing. It has the timer. So
I'm gonna
you
look
know,
into that one. I think that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
look into those and just kind of see what you think. And I don't know the next one. Have y'all heard Birdie before?
Yes.
So like that's another one. Again, I don't know that at an open house if you're by yourself, but again, it's not probably a bad thing.
There's that, what is it called? Like the safety boutique or something
Yes.
where you get like this. I mean, I don't know that I would carry it, but it is like it's a keychain and it has one of those on there. And it has like, I have one of these from Texas Title. It's a thing where, I mean, like you can like gouge stuff.
We were
on
just talking about we're gonna give you a brass knuckle. Yeah. It's like that.
Chinese stuff.
Oh, look, McKnight's got tasers.
Yeah.
I got that teaser and it's got that built-in siren on the phone.
There you go.
Yeah. Again, tiles or Apple tags or another way that you can do it. And then again, Find My Friends is, I mean, I would share a location with a buddy here if you guys don't already, you know, kind of find somebody just to sort of be like now the test portion.
Okay.
Some of this is you're gonna love. Well, let's see. Where's the best place to meet a new client for the first time?
At my house.
In your office.
office.
Yeah. It could be, I would say, in your office. I mean, it could be at your, I mean, you don't even know where you live. I mean, if it's a property that they're interested in buying with somebody else so that you feel that way, but probably in your office with others is a good place to be. What is a distress code? Or but you can use this in signature. Well, I mean, this is
C.
Yeah.
Word of phrase indicates you need help.
Yeah, and y'all need to come up with a 6th distress code and not tell anyone what it is. Don't tell me what it is.
'Cause-
Where should you park your car when holding an open house?
Well,
Not in the driveway.
etiquette wise, I say on the curb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have.
Yeah, just take an Uber, take an Uber. I mean, I don't think it's 108 degrees. You don't need to park half a block away and walk, but
But even that could be dangerous too if they're watching you afterward.
Then you're walking half a block.
so just, again, I think that one is be aware of your surroundings. We kind of talked about this. What should you do before an open house?
Arrive early. Meet the neighbors.
I think
It's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those are good ideas of different things to do. And you know, neighbors, we're like, I mean, we've been the house still next to us and we've been in the house like before.
No,
So they all want to check it out.
Neighbors for the most part.
Yes. Okay. Which of the following is not a good online safety practice? Let's see. I think it's gonna be
All of the above.
yeah, all of the above. Like cleanly.
Cruise for you at winning.
Well, and I always say with these things, if it sounds too good to be true, probably is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
pretty sure you didn't win the Mediterranean cruise.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, this is a really important, especially with September coming. A lot of your, I mean, I bet Greater Fort Worth Realtor Association of Realtors, all of these things are going to be coming up with new things. So I would just kind of be aware and sort of see. And again, I think it's a good time to sort of come up with some tips and tricks. But yes, I mean, again, none of it is earth shattering, but I do think sometimes we do get complacent and comfortable and forget that some of this.
Well, honestly, the reason that I reached out to you about this and we had talked about this is because we need to do this. We need to visit this once a quarter, once a year at least, just to say, hey, you got to keep this stuff in mind and don't get complacent with it. But some great tips. Thank you, Liz, and Jim for being here. Thank you for lunch, as always. 100 Days of Greatness come in soon, so we'll get involved with that and get you signed up.
Yeah, y'all just let us know if you need anything, certainly. And yeah, we're happy to help. I will send this to Brian.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it. If Brian will send it to you. So if you want to look into any of those resources or if you have questions or anything else, y'all just let us know.
Thank you,
So
Liz.
glad to be here. And I'll have this uploaded today, so you should see.
You have business cards?
We do. And the funniest part is
I never do.
Jennifer, do you have cards?
that's what I don't have a lot. And Jennifer has a new restock coming. So here's me. Thanks some of you.
I had it.
You have it. You Tracy knows where to find it. But yeah, y'all call us if you need whatever. And we are embarking on a website redesign. So we've had a marketing company come in and redo a bunch of our resources, like fun, kind of cool, coolest titles. But things for your clients in terms of you got a first time home buyer, like a guide, how to do those different things. We have so much of that, but it's been really hard for us to get it to you. Just trying to organize it and figure out how to do it. So our website is going to go down on Monday and we'll be down for about a month and then be totally, so it'll have our locations in life, of course. But with that is going to come, we're going to have a new Palm Agent tool. We're going to have some stuff for y'all. So next time we're here, we'll be able to sort of roll out some new apps. And
So
things.
so we should schedule for you guys to do 100 Days of Greatness lunch, maybe early September.
That'd be great. We should be like up and going, blowing and going at that point to kind of look at the different things. And the other thing we always say too is like, if you see that Fair Texas Title has this great thing, just, hey, do y'all have anything like this? The reality of it is we probably do. And
We don't know it.
you exactly. Or I say that they're doing blank for open houses. Can y'all do that? Like, absolutely, we do it. So please always feel free to ask us. We're here to help you and make you look good. So let us know what you need.
Thank y'all so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Stay cool out there. Thank you for the water bottles. Greatest gift ever.
I can't wait to see what I can get you for Christmas.
Taj is making fun of me for getting a really cool water bottle. There's some up here. You guys can come get them, and they're cold. I like it. So anyway.
Wait, Brian, let me have to get some. Greg, no.
Oh, Greg needs to. I'll show.
Your back.
I was gonna say, save me one. I love water bottles.
Well, you mean since you want a side, Mina?
Yeah, I would love one.
I'll put your name on one and I'll set it aside up here. Thank you for being with us, Mina. Thank you, everybody, for watching on YouTube. Bye.